hedge fund, any fund. It's all just how you name it. The reason why we mentioned the word hedge fund versus unit trust or mutual fund is to differentiate that we are not mandated. So we can do whatever we want.
It's the mandate.
It's the mandate. So a mutual based on Western or American or Australian, the distinguished by the regulators, i.e. the SEC, which is American regulators. Mutual fund is a mandated fund, so you have to follow what is stated. So it's very strict guidelines on what you can and cannot do. So mandated equity fund, only do equity, only do
fixed income,
whatever lah. So very mandated. Hedge fund, anything under a roof, you can buy derivatives, basically to make money, whatever you want to do. So for us, the only reason we call ourselves a hedge fund or we put ourselves in that bucket is because we wanted the flexibility to do whatever we want.
I see.
But not that we go and short and we go and simply do all commodities. So people get misconstrued with hedge fund because hedge fund actually already started with a term hedging.
Yes.
But a lot of the people who realize, hey, instead of hedging, I make money. I make money from the activity of hedging. Actually, the activity of hedge is insurance. But people say, hey, I can make money from this. And part of that is what caused the global financial crisis in 2008, where people were trying to make too much money for something that should have been an insurance policy.
That's right.
Essentially. And then it evolved where then the guys who were hedging, you found out how to make a lot of money, and then all the top performing funds that could do anything they want were coined hedge fund as the general term. But basically, it's what most people call an absolute return fund, which is the right term. But if you go talk to a person on the street and say absolute return fund, what is
they
that?
look at you like it was
Yeah,
stars.
so it's easier to say hedge
That's why
fund.
they would say
lah.
guaranteed, is it? Guaranteed.
guaranteed.
Absolute return.
Yeah. So it's
Absolutely
easier
guaranteed.
to distinguish ourselves from unit trust and mutual fund where we could do anything. So, for example, we wanted to buy an Apple. We didn't have to buy the stock. We could buy call options to get. So we want to long it. So instead of buying it direct the equity, but then we can use other instruments to get it.
I see.
Not that we do it necessarily, but then we want to take leverage. We can also take leverage. So you can take like a 1% loan and buy a position, which we do. We want to buy a country that otherwise you couldn't buy, like Russia. Technically, we can buy. So that's why we wanted to distinguish that we could do it basically anything we want, but then understand our philosophy is actually equity.
Understood.
Right.
Did you face any hurdles because we've got boutique fund management license,
Yes.
unit trust. When you
Yes. When
when
we
you went to
first,
CSC, right? And
when
you
we
had to
first
tell
started out, actually, yes, they didn't have a license for somebody like us. So we actually went to Singapore first. And then we partner with a fund manager there. And then we started the fund in Singapore.
I see.
And then only after knocking on the door every year or every other quarter to SE, finally we managed to convince them that they should open up to more than just unit trust mandated funds. Because if not, then everything, all of your money will go to Singapore. That was our pitch to them. That you are coming with, you said our strategy is plain vanilla, which is true. But then the way funds also are too plain vanilla also. Because they're all unit trust. So there are many different products out there that you could go, commodity fund, etc. that's not available. So he said, we operate in this universe, but maybe if you open it up, people will stop parking their money in Singapore to access all these other funds.
Yeah.
So I guess then they introduced this boutique license. So then we got our license under the boutique license.
I see.
But I think interestingly, we're the only guys. Is it still
One
today?
more. Still one more.
One more, is it?
Yeah.
So since then, only 2 people.
Yeah.
And this is in 2015. Because actually, once we started being licensed in Malaysia, we realized there's the other challenging part of the business that nobody sees is running a business. And running a regulated business, which is the day-to-day.
The day-to-day.
So
What is
actually
that like?
investing can be very easy, but when you manage other people's money, that's already difficult because you have to interact with your clientele to update them on your performance, etc., your strategy. Because not everybody's temperament is as strong as yours.
Correct.
So if let's say 2 weeks ago, a month ago, Russia invaded Ukraine, everybody's panicking and they're like, should we sell now?
Your phone just went off the
Yeah.
hook.
Then after that, China crashed, right? That one day, if you remember that week, all Chinese stocks crashed tremendously.
Yeah.
Mainly the tech companies and many others. but mainly tech. Everybody also panicking, right? Because most Malaysians invest in China.
Correct.
Right? So we have to deal with that. But then we also deal with regulators. So I guess Don can talk more about day-to-day.
Yes.
So you're the favorite poster boy in SC right now, I guess, for hedge fund. No, I'm just kidding.
We shall not mention.
Just kidding.
Thou shall not mention. In my head, the day-to-day isn't necessarily what we go through on a day-to-day, right? The day-to-day that we, I guess, would like to have is just basically reading the news.
That's right. Reading anything lah.
Reading news, financial reports, annual reports, any submission whatsoever, spending time with clients, explaining to them our strategy, reassuring them the performance of the fund. But that's a small portion, in fact, of what we actually do. And that's where a lot of people, when they start trying to get into the fund industry or the investment industry, realize, shit, it's not as glamorous or as sexy or as interesting as it is.
They probably watch too many billions.
Correct.
It's not like billions.
When we watch billions, I'm like, I don't see people.
Exactly. No, you need to have a G-Wagon and then a Gulf Street 650. No, I'm just kidding.
What's the guy in billions? The
where?
Bobby
no,
Axelrod.
their compliance guy.
Spiros.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about Spiros, right?
Yeah.
And that's really
That's not how compliance officer is like now.
Do you have a
We wish we
Spiros?
could have somebody like that.
We
want
are the
somebody like
Spiros.
that.
We're the Spiros of the company,
Yeah.
right? And that's the problem, right? So another problem is that the sophistication is not just on the end consumer side, but it's also on the professional management side as well.
Over-regulation is a big problem.
Right? So, you think about the regulation that the guys have put together in now, right? It's terms and conditions and law from.
Would it be suffocating?
Ooh.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Answer me.
But the truth is, it is.
It is.
Because, like I said, it's law that was designed in the early 90s, early 2000s.
Sarbanes-Oxley.
Right? It hasn't, and it's still so paper based. It's still this, so that. Right? It hasn't transitioned into this whole environment that we're in. Right?
Yes.
And hasn't transitioned to an environment of global investment. That's another problem because we're global managers.
Yes.
And a lot of the guys that I guess
Are local,
SC
yeah.
and Bank Negara regulates are very local. That's a pain point for us as well because
Understood.
there's a lot of things that we tend to spend communicating with them. There's no issue.
Yes.
Nice folks on the other side of the table. But the amount of time spent having to
Re-educate sometimes.
Because it's trying to grow that together with them in a way.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you see, at the same time, no one is doing it.
Yes.
So that's the sad bit, right? So we're
That's why we say you're the poster boy.
And
now,
not only
right?
that, we are boutique.
Yeah, boutique
We
somewhere.
are not. In fact, our job shouldn't be. I'm not to say job is never be our job, but our day to day, because we're boutique, we shouldn't be the ones working with them to improve this area
space.
because we don't have the time to do that. We are boutique.
Yeah.
If we were a large scale guy that came in and then